Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is Young and the Restless edition. Today is Friday. Yes, it's actually May the 13th, 2022. It's a Friday the 13th. Um, all right, and the only reason I was like, oh my God, Friday the 13th is because I remember Mariah and Tessa's wedding is supposed to go down on this day. All right, guys, so let's just jump right into this. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to give this about a 6. It was a 6 for me. It was a solid episode, but it was no cliffhangers or anything like that for it. All right, getting certain people out of the way, we see Michael talks to Victor and he lets him know that Lauren is apprehensive about him continuing to work from him. And Victor's just like, are you finna retire? Do I need to get another lawyer? And Michael's like, no. And then Victor was like, well, what the heck are we talking about? Let's talk business. And so Victor just tells Michael, Ashland Locke is still around. Like, I want him gone, period. He said, because he made a donation in Ray's name, 250 million of the money I gave him. And, he's trying to win his worm his way back into Victoria's heart and everything. He said, now we handled this quietly at first. And I think what they're going to do is maybe go more public with all of this. And so Michael says, well, we'll figure out a way to get him out then. And y'all, that was pretty much it with Michael and Victor. So then from there we go to, let's just wrap up the wedding couple, the soon to be married couple. Tessa and Mariah, they're so excited about their wedding, but Mariah, of course, is having anxiety. She feels like maybe she forgot something. Noah comes over. He shows them the rooftop and everything, and they're really excited about that. I mean, their wedding, and they're so excited. They tell them they love it. They get back home, and Crystal is there. Am I confusing yesterday with today? I don't know. But Crystal is there, and so she shows up, and they're happy to see her. No, they said they're happy to see her and everything. So they're just excited about this wedding and everything that's going on. So then Mariah's going to go stay at Sharon's because, it's the night before, and that gives Crystal and Tessa time to talk, and she just says, I never met Ray, but he did such a wonderful thing for me. Y'all, I'm not gonna hold you. That was about it on this conversation. They just talk about, Tessa, getting along with the with Sharon and the family and everything, and how happy they are that she's found this happiness with Mariah, how, she's getting along with Noah, he's a supportive of them and all that. And that was pretty much it for them. Then we go to Sharon and Faith. So Sharon and Faith are there, and Faith went to pick up Sharon's dress for the wedding, and she was trying to hide the bag because it had a Cuban shirt that Sharon had bought Ray that had been dry cleaned. And so Faith just said, when the woman at the dry cleaner said, tell Ray I said hi, she said she didn't know how to respond. And Sharon says, I'm sorry that happened to you. And so they just sit down and they talk, and they just say again how Ray was such a good man. Now, I am disappointed that y'all did all this lead up to having Ray's memorial and then wanting Celeste to have his, body come home. And y'all show none of it. You didn't bring any of Ray. Like, this was just so blown over. I was a little disappointed in that. I would have liked them to go into more details and maybe build a storyline from that. But I guess they said when Ray is gone, the rest of the family is just completely out of the city. All right. So then we see, what do we see? So then we see Faith and Sharon just talk about, everything and how, Ray was such a good man, and and it's okay to be emotional. And even though Sharon says she wants the wedding to be a distraction, she thinks about him all the time. So she doesn't want them to think that they can't bring him up. So then Mariah comes over, and they talk and everything about her being nervous and just the wedding and all the planning that's went into it. They just talk, y'all. And so then Faith ends up going to bed, and Mariah comes down, and Sharon is just sitting there thinking. And Mariah comes down, and she tells Sharon she wants to go to sleep or whatever, but she can't. So she wanted her a cup of tea. And so they're just talking, and Sharon and Mariah says, I'm so ecstatic. I watched all these people couple up and start families and everything, and finally it's my turn. And she says, is that insensitive? And Sharon was like, why? And she said, well, you lost Ray, and that you thought that was going to be the rest of your life. And Sharon says, listen, when you have children, you understand that you live for this. You want your children to be happy and find love and build a family. And she said, um, me losing Ray and everything, that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your happiness. And that's all it was today, y'all. So we're gonna move right along from there. So then we see, okay, so Victoria is at society. So Victoria's at society getting a drink or whatever, and Sally comes up to her because y'all know Adam got this plan to get Victoria and Ashland back together, because then they think that'll make Victor give up the company, removes Victoria and give up the company to him. So here goes Sally going to work, and she tells Victoria, do you mind? I just wanted to talk to you for a minute. Victoria says, mm-mm. And she says, okay, I get it, but I just wanted to let you know you're a strong woman. And I can appreciate everything that you've been through and how strong you came out on top and everything. And so she keeps talking, and Victoria was like, well, I'm surprised. And she said, why? And she said, because, now you and Adam pretty much lost your jobs or whatever, your temporary jobs, and Sally says, listen, I'm perfectly happy being COO of Newman Media. She said, and she tells Victoria she saw Ashland earlier, and that he's like sad that she's not there, but she's like, but I'll go. And Victoria says, sit down. Victoria wants to know this. So but because Sally said she could understand where Ashland's coming from. So then Sally tells Victoria about Wyatt, and how she pretended to have an illness just to get Wyatt to stay with her, and how it backfired. She lost him and everything, and she was saying, that insecurity of women where they're like, I built this man up. I built him into the best version, and now another woman's gonna come and get that version. So she was playing on that card and just playing on how she knows that she was in love with Wyatt, and how it hurt her that he just couldn't love her back or whatever after he found out what she had done, but that she loved him, and she said he made her a better person. And so now that's how she knows her relationship with Adam is healthy, because she grew from that. Even though Wyatt couldn't forgive her, she grew, and now she's in a better relationship with Adam. So she's getting to Victoria, but Victoria was like, no, it's not the same, because you loved Wyatt. Ashland just saw me as a pawn from the very beginning. And Sally's just like, I don't think so. From the man I saw, it takes one to know one, and I saw a man hurting and in pain and full of regret. And Victoria was like, okay. And so her and Ashley just, excuse me, she and Sally just wrapped that conversation up. And so then we see that Ashlyn is at Crimson Lights, and Nikki comes in and she said, oh, what, you waiting on Victoria? You think she gonna come through or whatever? And she just tells him, if you really love my daughter the way you say you do, because you always saying that, but we go by actions, not words, and your actions say you don't, because all you did was lie to her and hurt her and everything. So your words can say I love her, but your actions prove different. And he says, I can't let this conversation end like this, Nikki. I truly did love Victoria, and whether y'all believe it or not, I really did love her, and everything. And so then Victoria comes in and she's like, what's going on? Because Nikki is telling Ashlyn, like, you didn't love Victoria. Like, she's reading him the riot about, you didn't love Victoria, because that's not love. Love is not lying to her. And she was like, and we were kind to you. We didn't go after you the way we could have, because you were married to Victoria, but you're no longer married to Victoria. So keep it up, and we're going to come for you. If you really love Victoria, you would leave her alone. And Victoria just says, I don't care what Ashland does, what what he does with his money. I don't care what he does, where he goes, who he sees. I don't care about any of it. So she walks away. And Nikki just tells Ashland again, if you continue to mess with Victoria, we're going to come for you. And so then Victoria and Nikki go to the office, and Nikki says, "Let's get away. Let's go on a trip. Clear your mind." And Victoria says, "I know what you're trying to do, Mom, but I'm okay. I'm not gonna have a breakdown or anything. And we can't leave right now. We have to change the name on the company. We need to decide if we're gonna make that public or not, as well as we need to get you." Into your position as co-CEO and everything. We have things to do that does, and I'm not going to let what's going on in my personal life distract me from the business. And so Nikki's like, okay, but she's still concerned about Victoria. So then we see Ashland at Society now. And Sally is still there, and she sees him getting another drink from the bartender. So Sally goes up to Ashland, and she tells him, "You two make a pair." And he said, "What?" And she said, "Victoria was in that same spot in the same mood, but she hit hers a little bit better, or whatever." And he was like, "What does that have to?" She said, "I see two people who love each other. One is not willing to admit it, and one doesn't have the fight in him left to fight." He said, "What does that have to do with you?" She said, "Nothing. I'm just a sucker for love." And then she leaves. And that was the Young and the Restless to get it, guys. I wish you guys a happy Friday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you would like to. Even if you don't, I'll still be dropping these videos for you, so they'll still be here. Anyway, again, be safe, be blessed, have a wonderful weekend. Bye.